Well, arguably the best player in these finals through the first 5 games has been Shawn Kemp, but he suffered a painful bruised sternum in Game 1. He told me that will not affect his play today. His mobility is fine, even though he is sore, and he'll wear protective padding on his chest and underneath his jersey. Meanwhile, what they're counting on for the Sonics is the Bulls to be the ones who are fatigued and who are injured. George Karl is planning an up-tempo game. He wants to wear the Bulls down, he says, even if he has to reach way down in his bench and play guys like Vincent Askew and Irvin Johnson, who haven't seen action in the last 10 quarters. Mark?
Thank you, Hannah. The officials, Hugh Evans, Dick Pavetta, Steve Jaffe, the crew that worked in Game 3.
Of course, the presence of Ron Harper means that Michael Jordan now does not have to work as hard in defending Gary Payton. Also, the Bulls want to keep Rodman on Kemp as much as possible. Nevertheless, Chicago has to start forcing turnovers again and get some fast break baskets.
Seattle, good start. Fight the crowd, get him back. 25 shots for Shawn Kemp, and run, take advantage of conditioning.
And this crowd much livelier than we saw in games 1 and 2 here in Chicago. The opening tip controlled by the Bulls. The crowd actually trying to get itself into it during the playing and singing of the national anthem. They began the chant early on during the singing of the anthem. Here is Harper blocked by Payton. Shot clock at 7. We are just underway in Game 6. Pippen to the drive. He did not see that in Game 5.
Well, one of the reasons Scotty's been struggling with the shot, he gets the ball many times with the shot clock winding down. This time he didn't settle for jumper, took it hard to the hole.
Gary Payton met by Scottie Pippen. Open shot for left shrimp, and the game is tied at 2.
Terrific ball movement. Rakowski, he wants to take that shot. Shrimp, obviously a better shooter, but Brick can hit that play.
Luke Longley playing with a sore lower back. Dennis Rodman very quiet. Game 5 in Seattle. Michael Jordan. Oh, he knew on the release. He began to walk back down court.
2 series, 2 touches for Jordan in the same spot on the floor.
Shawn Kemp not able to hit on his first opportunity. The Bulls with a 5-2 lead. Jordan had missed his previous 6 from three-point range. Minute and a half gone by. Kemp had it poked away by Rodman.
As we mentioned, Scottie Pippen getting the ball with the shot clock winding down. There's 7 seconds on the shot clock. Michael decides not to drive it, see what he's got with the jump shot first, as the Chicago bench glad to see Michael get off so well.
And here's Kemp from deep. Ron Harper playing with the band back. Played only 1 minute. In game number 5 has seen very little action since game 2. Pippen putting moves on Kemp, slicing his way, and back come the Sonics. 3-on-2 developing, but the Bulls get back. Rakowski blows the stuff. He thought he was fouled.
They're going to let this one go a lot, Marv. Rakowski's got to finish that play.
That was last touch by the Sonics.
For the last 2 games, Frank Rakowski has played 33 minutes, has not scored a point, has 4 rebounds, but yet he's been effective for this team because he is spreading the floor. He can't believe a foul wasn't called there on the play before. Scottie Pippen thought he got hit.
Longley. Nice pass from Rodman. There's Hersey Hawkins. Lost it from behind, and we are seeing a different Scottie Pippen here at the start. He's come out and hurry across the market. Ron Harper giving the Bulls a 7-2 lead, and they are standing and cheering here at the United Center. Pressure from Chicago. Sonics able to get it down. Hersey Hawkins. Hersey Hawkins, as Michael Jordan described, has been very scrappy, very aggressive. He's played very well the last 2 games. Jordan lost it. He thought he was fouled. 4-on-3 for Seattle. Kemp. And the Bulls were looking for a charge. Did not get the call as Kemp was able to tip it home.
Well, in the other games of this series and throughout all the playoffs, we have heard so many whistles, the officials look like they're going to let them play. If they do this, however, they got to let them go all game this way.
The Bulls 7 and the Sonics 6. And now a whistle away from the ball as Steve Javie indicates a foul on Brakowski.
This is what championship basketball is all about. Letting the players decide this. Rodman with another flop. Sean Kemp just stays with it. Sean Kemp again very active. The difference for Chicago, they're taking the ball to the basket. They're not settling for the perimeter game.
And that's what Jordan attempts to do and was fouled. He was hacked. Percy Hawkins called for his first.
Well, the players have it in their minds. They want to be aggressive. They want to take the ball to the basket as much as possible, but they're going to start to get some second thoughts. If they're going to go to the hole and not get the whistles when they get fouled, well, they're going to start thinking about maybe just relying with that jump shot.
Well, Michael with his 4th point. Jordan 11 of 22, 26 points the other night in Seattle. The rest of the Bulls just 18 of 55, but it was a very quiet 11 of 22. Michael shut down in the 4th quarter. Did not have a field goal the last 9.5 minutes and looked tired in the second half.
Or that long week on the road in the 2-3-2 format at the very end of the season, very debilitating for the team like Chicago on the road.
And he had to chase Gary Payton around at the other end of the court. Off the steal. And taken back by Payton. Payton for Kemp. And a blocking foul against Chicago.
Well, Chicago has had a number of situations in the early going here where they have been a little bit careless with the handle. A couple of catches by Luke Longley. That time, Scottie Pippen not making sure he had the ball before he went down court and gave up the ball. And Scottie felt he was in good position to take that charge. I think he was too far underneath the basket. Good call.
What's a first-team all-league defensive player like Scottie Pippen doing taking charges anyway? That's for guys who have no game. When you can play basketball, you are defenders. You're not a guy that just gets run over and bailed out by the refs.
And Pippen picked up his first foul. Matt, did you have something to say?
I'm stumped. I don't know. I thought that was a part of good defense, taking charges. No way Scottie Pippen could block that shot.
And Luke Longley could not handle the lead. Hopper says his fault. Bulls 9, Sonics 8, with 7:40 remaining in this opening quarter. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Bill Walton. Marv shot and a Storm working the sidelines. Payton, yes. And the Sonics with a 1-point lead.
Hannah was talking about play the full 48. Seattle does not think that Chicago can do that. The poise, the confidence, the determination evident for the Sonics today.
Here's a three for Pippen. Scottie Pippen. Only 3 of 24 from downtown the last 3 games, and the Bulls a horrible 3 of 26 in Game 5 on Friday night. In fact, at one point they missed 20 straight 3-pointers. Shrimp, yes, and the game is tied at 12. Bulls have hit their first 2 3-point attempts. Jordan and now Pippen. Scottie Pippen, who's playing hurt, the bad ankles, a bad back, sore knee, has had a very difficult series. His shot corner only from way out. The tip missed. Converts.
A poor spacing by Chicago with Jordan being fronted in the post. Luke Longley has to get up above the tip of the circle to get Brakowski out of there. That's why they cannot throw that lob to Michael.
Bulls with a 14-12 lead. Here's the double on Kemp. Rodman over to Helm. Kemp in trouble. Hawkins able to save it. Midcourt crowd wanted to travel. Shot clock is at 3.
Seattle is not taking care of their defensive boards. And the fact that Sean Kemp is off to a very slow start is hurting the Sonics.
And the Bulls are firing from the 3-point range. Shrimp for 3. Way off.
Everybody just launching the first shot that shows up, trying, I think, to get whatever jitters there might be, and there shouldn't be at this juncture, just to shoot jump shot.
Timeout is taken with 5:33 remaining in the first quarter. The Bulls with a 14-12 lead on the Sonics. Scottie Pippen in a discussion with Hugh Evans. Here's the three-point shot by Scottie Pippen to end his drought in that department. And watch the work off the offensive boards. First Jordan, he goes wide of the mark, and Rodman puts it home. So the Bulls feeling better about things in this first quarter. They lead by 2. An unlikely, dramatic turnaround, winning the last 3 games. So what is their approach tonight? We asked that of Coach George Karl.
At times this year, we have been overly happy with success. And, you know, if we come out happy tonight and not angry, you know, Chicago embarrasses. But there's a lot of class in what we did. I think there's a moment of pride that's got to come with that. But I think my team's going to be very serious tonight. I think they're going to play their best basketball game. In Chicago, we're going to make the whole theme since Game 3 is make Chicago earn Game 4, win 4, and I think we'll do that.
And you can see it on the faces of guys like Schrempf and Brakowski. It's always there in Shawn Kemp's eyes.
Shot clock is run down. It's at 1. Pippen just did beat the 24. And it's the Bulls by 4. Scottie Pippen off to the fast start. 3 of 5. He has 7 points and looking very active, particularly on the defensive end.
It's remarkable how well he's playing. Those injuries don't get better in 2 days.
Oh, Brakowski way off. He's been looking for the 3. He has not taken the shots the last couple of games, but feels he can hit from downtown. Kemp broke it up. So Shawn Kemp with the steal.
And Luke Longley continues to have problems catching and holding on to the basketball.
The Sonics give it right back. Harper for 3. And Schrempf to the board. That left Schrempf for Gary Payton, met by Scottie Pippen. Yes, Gary Payton with the touch. He's hit his first 2. The Bulls 16, the Sonics 14.
That's a beautiful move by Payton. He made Scottie Pippen think he was going to spin and drive, and it froze Pippen.
It's not just individual basketball. It's a nice pick and roll initiated by the ball handler.
And a strong move to the basket by Longley. That's his first field goal. For the Bulls, in losing the 2 in Seattle, it's their first back-to-back defeat since last February when they lost it in Denver and in Phoenix. Here's Payton again off the spin. What a move by Payton. And the Bulls again lead by 2. The Bulls have not lost 3 straight since January of 1995. They lost 4 in a row during that stretch, but Michael Jordan was in the midst of his retirement. Attacked by Payton. For Payton, it is his first foul, so Jordan will go to the line. Overall, the Chicago Bulls at home have been magnificent, as you'd expect in recent years. The last time that they lost 2 in a row here in Chicago was January of 95. Jordan has 6 points, on the 4 rebounds and 2 assists. The last time they lost 2 in a row at home with Jordan, February of 93, Matt, when you were a child.
And the old building across the street, which is now a parking lot. And you remember all the complaining last season about the new United Center, how the Bulls could not get used to the crowd atmosphere, to the floor, to the baskets, to where the bench was. Everything was wrong with it until Michael Jordan returned.
Nothing wrong with Seattle's offense. That's fine as their defense. They're not pushing Chicago to the perimeter. They're not taking care of their defensive boards.
Bulls lead by 4 as we come up on 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Nate McMillan first time running the travel on McMillan. Sam Perkins also on the floor for the first time, and it's a 24-second violation indicated, but looked like that previous shot hit the rim. Yes.
I hope that did. I hope that's not just me that saw that hit the rim. The shot thrown up by Nate McMillan clearly will clang off this rim.
Well, it's close, Bill. Very close. The question is whether it did hit the rim, because then the shot clock is reset. And after the officials discuss it, they say, yes, it did. Here's a look from another angle, and it did clearly. Yes,
I did rebound 1 or 2 shots in my life.
That doesn't mean anything about your sight from this distance.
Well, that's how you get rebounds, by looking at the ball. That's one thing Luke Longley does not do very well.
And a foul is called, a pushing foul on Rodman. It's his first.
And Dennis Rodman slaps the ball out of the hands of Sean Kemp, and right away George Karl right into the face of the officials complaining about it. Sean Kemp has been so strong, so quick in his low post moves, getting in there and drawing that personal foul. But these are the antics of Dennis Rodman that bring even more attention to himself and alert the referees. Just like that, you see Steve Javie watching him, George Karl complaining. These are the moves Dennis Rodman just has to stay away from.
Well, Michael Jordan telling us prior to the game that he hopes, and he's talked to Dennis about calming down, because it just brings more attention not only to Rodman but the teammates in terms of the officials checking them much closer.
Marvin worked early in the season. He got under Seattle's skin, but Seattle has moved beyond that. They've got experience now. And now it's just a big picture time. This is the championship being decided right now.
Tony Kukoc has come on for the first time. The Bulls obviously would prefer having Kukoc come off the bench. Jordan for Longley. Well, the double team stopped Jordan at the baseline, but he was able to hit Longley with that pass. And the Bulls now lead 22-16.
It's just remarkable how he can make decisions in the air, Jordan.
Kemp rejected.
Jordan will be isolated against Sean Kemp. He just gets right to the hoop. Sean closes out on him, and then Jordan pulls the ball back, and Sam Perkins breaks down defensively.
Sonics have missed their last 4 shots. Shot clock is down to 5. Kemp has to fire it up, and hits. Foot on the line, a 2-pointer, 6 for Kemp, and the Bulls now lead by 4. Sean Kemp playing with some great passion, challenged his teammates after the loss in Game 3, did not like their attitude. That's been a big factor. Hawkins on the shot that came up short. Nate McMillan, who's provided a lift despite the fact that he has been playing hurt. McMillan working against Kukoc. Now Perkins posting up. Open shot for McMillan. And back comes Jordan. Last touch by Kukoc.
Seattle is not doing a good job on their defensive boards, but Sean Kemp, they threatened inside, and then Sean Kemp, that's his 6th shot of the game. He's got a couple of free throws. Sonics playing terrific basketball.
Timeout is taken by the Bulls. We'll be right back.
Has had his injury problems and has really not been able to help the Sonics until the last 2 games. And did he ever help? But here in a collision with Tony Kukoc, and Nate McMillan shaken up on the play as he got the hip check inadvertently from Tony Kukoc.
You can just see the caution that Nate is forced to play with because of that herniated disc. This great champion of a person and a terrific player has one chance, and his body lets him down.
And McMillan able to hang in, remains on the floor. David Wingate has come on for the first time for Seattle. Steve Kerr in for Chicago. We come to about a minute left in the first quarter. Illegal defense called for the first time. So that is the warning against the Bulls. Ron Harper starting the game after playing only 1 minute in Game 5 in Seattle, and has played well in this first quarter. Here's Dennis Rodman for Luke Longley. Here's it from the crowd. 4 points for Longley.
Ron Harper is moving so much better. He was so tentative back in Seattle. Perkins has to have a big game for Seattle. He has not been aggressive in his early moments.
McMillan is not beating Harper traveled. Harper able to dive for it. Steve Kerr, only 2 of 8 in 24 minutes the other night. Tony Kukoc rebounded by Kemp. The Sonics on the run. Wingate gives it back, a bad pass. And on the scramble, Rodman had it knocked away. Last touch by Seattle.
That's a terrific defensive recovery by Ron Harper. And those are the kinds of plays he has made for Chicago all season long and in the early going into the playoffs. When Tony Kukoc posting up the smaller Peyton inside, no fadeaway jumpers. Take the ball strong in the hole.
Seattle does a terrible job of getting the ball to a guard on the fast break. Get the ball to Peyton. Get the ball to Wingate.
Kukoc from the shot clock running down. The extension by Tony Kukoc. Final seconds of the quarter. Perkins for 3. And that's it for this opening quarter in Chicago. Standing ovation for the Bulls. After 1. The Bulls 24. And the Sonics 18. Chicago trying to turn it. After the poor performances in Seattle the last 2 games, the Sonics hoping to bring it to a 7th and final game here on Wednesday night. You are watching the NBA on NBC.
NBA Finals.
Welcome back to the United Center in Chicago, and a happy Father's Day from all of us here at NBC Sports as we head to the second quarter. No team in NBA history has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. To give you a broader perspective, Major League Baseball, no one has done it. National Hockey League, 2 teams have done it. The 42 Toronto Maple Leafs, the 75 New York Islanders. And no team has ever come back from a 3-2 deficit in the NBA with 2 wins on the road. Let's check in with Hannah Storm. Hannah?
Marv, Nate McMillan has been bothered on that left leg by pressure on the sciatic nerve. He's had a lot of pain in the back of the leg, but this most recent injury was a knee on the side of the leg. They iced it during that timeout. It shouldn't have any impact on the injury that he has struggled with throughout these playoffs. Let's send it over to Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Hannah. I just talked with Chip Schaefer, the Bulls trainer. He told me the ice they're putting on Ron Harper is a preventative sort of medicine. What it does, it gives it an analgesic effect that numbs the knee and keeps the pain away. Marv?
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Opening minute, second quarter, and the Bulls with a 24-18 lead on the Sonics.
Chicago has to be very happy with their defense in the first quarter, holding the Sonics to just 18 points. And I don't know why Seattle doesn't go to more pick and rolls. Chicago has had a lot of trouble defending it.
Gary Payton just missed a wide open layup after he burned Jordan from the perimeter.
And here's Jordan getting inside, and he was fouled. Foul on Wingate. For David Wingate, his first, and Michael Jordan to the line. He's 4 of 4 at the line.
And again, the intelligence of the Bulls. They know that when Michael has this feeling on championship night, when he's got a small defender, give him some room to get to the hoop. He can just overpower the outsized Wingate.
8 points for Jordan, although he is only 1 of 5 from the field. You know, you think back to after Game 3, several Sonics, including Gary Payton, basically giving their concession stitches. Rodman is fouled, and he'll go to the line. You had the feeling that the Sonics felt that the series was all over. They appear to be giving up, except for Shawn Kemp, who made those bold statements, and here they are right back into it, although the Bulls are playing very well in this first half, and Dennis Rodman hearing it from the crowd after drawing the foul. It's called on Kemp, who sits down.
Well, you just can't assume that Michael Jordan is going to miss free throws just because he's a good foul shooter, but how can you not box out Dennis Rodman in a free throw situation? He makes a living doing that.
Matt, Seattle's a poor defensive rebounding team. They don't have the big guy. Rodman horrible at the line. Remember, it was in Game 2. Seattle had a chance to go for the victory. Scottie Pippen continues to play perfect basketball.
One game for all the marbles. Game 7, if necessary, Wednesday night on NBC. On NBC is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service. And by LDDS WorldCom, telecommunications service that's one-on-one.
Scottie Pippen defending the bigger Sam Perkins will step in front for the steal to start one of the fast breaks and one of the rare ones for Chicago, as they have not had very many. But Scottie Pippen right here in the middle of the floor, nobody coming up to stop him. Michael Jordan running this lane and wide man over here, and Scottie Pippen just making the right play with the perfect bounce pass to finish off the fast break.
And the good ball movement by Chicago continues. They've got 10 baskets and 8 assists, and the people in Chicago are ecstatic.
Well, this crowd has been into it right from the start, looking to provide a lift for the Bulls. Very quiet crowd in games 1 and 2. Chicago with an 18-8 run the last 7 minutes. Perkins coming up short. And it was last touched by the Bulls.
Marv, Sam Perkins looks really off tonight. This is the guy who has to have a big game. He had a wide open dunk there and just not moving well at all.
Perkins has missed his first 3 shots. Seattle bench 0 for 6 here at the start. Now Perkins is it back. Schrempf for 3. Yes! Detlef Schrempf from downtown. He has 7 points, and the Bulls now lead by 6.
Poor decision by Tony Kukoc to come doubled as he ran back to the other end. Phil Jackson let him know about it. Rodman had Perkins under control, too far away from the basket. Double team not necessary.
And Rodman took a poke in the head from Schrempf. For Detlef his first. And a new 24 for the Bulls. Here's another look at it.
Rodman in the triple post. Detlef feels he can get a play from behind. Rodman always has to have the last word.
Jordan with a series of fakes and a give it back. And a travel on Steve Kerr. The Bulls were called for 7 traveling violations in Game 5 in Seattle.
And I talked to Phil Jackson before the game. I said, of the 7, Phil, how many really were? He said 1. Actually, on that particular play, Michael Jordan got away with a walk to escape the defensive Wingate.
When does Phil Jackson start complaining about the ref? Seattle hammered him in Game 5.
Of course, that's always a coach's point of view in terms of, well, 1 out of 7.
Well, the first it's the refs, then it's the timekeeper, then it's the announcers next. Who knows?
Well, he wasn't complaining about the referees. He was just answering my question.
He was complaining about you. Kukoc off the steal. Kerr facing the double team. We are early second quarter, and the Bulls lead 27-21. Steve Kerr, who has not been hitting the shot, hits on his first, and the Bulls lead 29-21.
Jordan rode Kerr the last turnover. He went right back to him with the pass. That's what great teammates do. They lead their guys to beautiful performances.
Hawkins. Percy Hawkins with the floater. His second field goal. He has 4, and the Bulls now lead by 6 points. Phil Jackson with Rodman, Kukoc, Jordan, Hopper, on the floor. Beautiful pass. Rodman. Well, Dennis getting credit for the extra rebound. It's the second time that has occurred.
That's Moses Malone basketball. But Chicago's getting to the hoop. They did not do that out in Seattle.
Wingate hits from downtown. And now it's changed to a 2. Had the foot on the line. 31-25 the score. And a blocking foul called on Wingate.
Well, Michael Jordan drawing the attention of the defense, getting up in the air, finding Kerr wide open, and the crowd, you could feel it in the tone. They wanted Steve to make that, and he really put a beautiful arc on that shot to get the first one. And Michael is so in tune anytime around the basket, feeling the defense, finding the open open man, and Scottie Pippen appreciates that kind of basketball.
Longley back on the floor. Longley setting up on Perkins. And it's a traveling violation.
Luke has been playing very, very well. He's another one of the Bulls who's going to have off-season surgery. He's got to have some bone spurs taken off those ankles. He will not play in the Olympics for Australia, his native country, this summer.
And Luke also bothered by a sore back in recent days. 6-point Chicago lead. 4 minutes in, second quarter. On the overplay, Harper called for the foul.
Well, the Bulls have made a concerted effort anytime a smaller man is playing a bigger man in the post to get around and front and put pressure not only on the passer, but make that a tough pass, and it has gotten the Bulls more aggressive defensively. Hey, Chicago is playing very well. Seattle is not playing their type of basketball yet, and they look at up at that scoreboard and find themselves only trailing by 6.
And if they would just feed the post, Seattle would get that ball in better. They float passes. They hang them out. You got to zip it in there hard to the guy.
And that's Fred calling out the play. And it led to the offensive foul. Illegal pick set by Kemp, trying to free up the man with the ball, Shrimp.
It looked like Shawn Kemp was stationary, but when he leaned over, when he put that shoulder down, if he had stood his ground upright, that would have been a foul on Rodman.
Here's Jordan. Would have been a 2-pointer. Put on the line, so Michael is now 2 of 7 from the field.
The guards are running away from the ball in the backcourt for Seattle.
Nice. Kemp beats Rodman.
Now there's that pass you wanted, Bill, as Rodman, he was buried in the lane there, had to try to get around in front, but way too late, as Kemp did a beautiful job of holding him on. Perfect pass.
Bulls 31, Sonics 27. Jordan facing the double team, finding Pippen. Rodman trying to draw contact, no call, but Longley got it to Jordan. Here's Jordan. Michael able to elevate. Bulls lead 33-27.
Marv, defensive rebound. It's killing Seattle. They can't dig that ball out.
Shawn Kemp once again from the outside. That's his 4th field goal. He has 10 points, so the Bulls lead by 4. Bulls have led by as many as 9. Sonics briefly led by 1. They were up 10-9 in the early going. Here's Jordan going to the series of fakes. Rebounded by Shrimp.
Oh, Michael is so quick right now. He had Hersey Hawkins whipped on the baseline. Hersey would have never found him, but Michael didn't realize how badly he had him beat.
Perkins working on Pippen and lost it. Harper with Perkins back. Foul by Hawkins, and Harper had the acceleration.
Sam Perkins looks asleep.
Many have said that, but that's not necessarily on the court. It's the look, though. Sports have teamed up and created the official website for the NBA Finals at finals.com. Game previews and player bios and video highlights. The latest news on the Bulls and the Sonics. Plus, during our broadcast of the Finals, fans around the globe can interact with our very own cybercaster, Steve Snapper Jones, who is online. Not to be confused, incidentally, with the Steve Jones who won the U.S. Open earlier today. Steve was asked the other day, what is the most asked question that he has received, and this the answer. Did you get a fair deal trading courtside seats to Marvin Matt for a seat upstairs away from Bill? I don't know about that one. I don't know.
Hey, Marv, I heard you were online the other day.
Well, you know, and I told Bill any time that he has a question, he can ask it directly. He does not have to go online. You know, feel free at any time, Bill.
You don't want to give me that kind of freedom, Marv. You want to keep me on the nice tight leash that I'm on.
Chicago with a 35-29 lead on Seattle. Halfway through the second quarter. Hawkins and Payton in the backcourt. Shrimp with Kemp and Perkins up front. Here is Kemp. And Hawkins able to hustle it down. Shrimp for 3. Jordan will reset.
Harper moving so much better. Obviously, the series of injections that he took during the course of this week seem to be working for this game today. Always a very dangerous proposition.
Play by Perkins to break it up and hit the rim. So they got the new 24. Kukoc. The Sonics screaming for offensive interference.
It's like a volleyball game up there. Nobody going after the basketball in a green uniform as Kukoc slowly hanging all over that rim.
It's amazing. How can you expect to win the championship in the NBA when you can't get a defensive rebound each and every time the other team miss?
And another Seattle turnover. They've been sloppy with the ball. It leads to Pippen. 9 points for Scottie Pippen. And the Sonics want to talk it over. Welcome back to Chicago, and coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report, we'll hear live from Isaiah Thomas, Vice President of Basketball Operations for the Toronto Raptors. Isaiah and his Pistons won back-to-back titles in 1989 and 1990, and they often tangled with Michael Jordan and the Bulls. We'll hear from Isaiah as he chats with Bob Costas on the Prudential Halftime Report. As we were going to break on that Sonic timeout, double technicals were called on Payton and Harper as they had words as they crossed paths in front of the official scorer's table. 10-point lead for Chicago, their biggest lead of the night. We have 4:39 remaining in the first half.
Took Shrem out of his rhythm.
Jordan. Good box out by Kemp. Jordan able to break it up. Harper protecting the ball. With the tip. And the Bulls are rolling.
Chicago is getting fast break opportunity after opportunity. Sonics not getting back. And when they do and a shot is missed, nobody's jumping for a rebound.
And the Bulls have out-rebounded the Sonics now 24-15. Shot clock down to 5. Bottled up and held. The foul committed by Jordan.
The effect of the home crowd, which just keeps pushing and pushing for their favorite Bulls here. Just waves of rampaging Bulls at the glass. Harper throws it up. He knows somebody. That time it was Kukoc. Pippen was right there. Pippen's defense has been spectacular today, Marv.
Standing ovation for Ron Harper. Steve Kerr coming on for Harper, who is playing with an injured left knee. Kemp from Sam Perkins. It's the Bulls by 10. Chicago with 9 steals in this first half. 4 by Pippen. NBA record for the NBA Finals in a single game is 7 by Robert Horry of Houston last year. Pippen already has 4. Pippen keeps it alive as the Bulls get the new 24. Crowd wanted Kukoc to pull the trigger.
Pass it to Jordan instead.
Excellent thought. Shot clock at 5, and a travel is called.
Well, they were trying, but Michael Jordan really played beautifully by Gary Payton, bumping from behind, getting around and fronting, and doing a terrific job as he has now the last 2.5 games, just unable to get the ball to him, and Michael Jordan upset about it.
Able to free himself up. 9 points for Shrem. Bulls lead 41-33 with 2.5 to rebounds, 5 off the offensive glass for Rodman. You can see the domination by Chicago. Shrimp with a good play to knock it away from Jordan. 3-on-2. Fouled by Kerr.
That last play, Michael lit up when Detlef Schrempf switched out, and that was a replay of George Karl's faulty strategy from game 1 in this series. Led to a fast break opportunity, and with good balance, with the guard in the middle and Schrempf running the wing, they got an easy trip to the foul line.
So Detlef Schrempf to the line for the first time. Earlier this season, Detlef out with a fracture of the left tibia. Sat out 19 games. Took a while for him to make it back. His cutting and reactions were a bit off. Here's Dennis Rodman for Tony Kukoc. Kukoc 2 of 5. He has 4 points. The Chicago Bulls 9-0 at home in the playoffs, including victories over the Sonics in games 1 and 2. During the regular season, they won 39 of 41. The Sonics did not want the Bulls celebrating on their floor. Won the last 2 in Seattle. And now the Bulls are hoping to pull off the celebration here tonight. The Sonics looking to send it to a game 7 here in Chicago on Wednesday. Seattle with 6 unanswered points. They are within 6 with just under 2 minutes to go. First half. And again, the Bulls force the Sonics into a turnover.
Pippen's defense is just spectacular tonight. He's everywhere. He doesn't get any credit that time, but he forced that turnover. So nice to see Scotty back on top of his game.
Chicago has had a couple of unforced turnovers by Michael Jordan on the last couple of trips. They have to start handling the ball much, much better.
Already 11 turnovers tonight. They had just 11 for the entire game on Friday. Nice ball movement. Pippen slicing his way, trying to feed off the long way, but was called for a charging foul.
Good call. Pippen in the lane. The defenders were in the air, which is fine. Scotty initiating this contact. Knocks over a bunch of players.
Well, it is a good call, but the way this ball game started, everybody was flopping to the floor, falling down. Some of them were real charges, some of them were imagined, but this is what confuses the players. The way the game starts out, the way it's officiated, and then it starts to change as you gradually move on. Very tough to figure out.
Scottie Pippen was called for a second, taking a seat, replaced by Tony Kukoc. Here's Kemp on a double team. Shift loose, but could not hit.
I think Sean's got to take shots like that, Marvin. He's got 11 shot attempts in the game. I think 25 for him has got to be his goal. Sometimes you got to force a little bit when you're the best player on your team.
Nice lead pass. Rejected by Kemp. What a play by Kemp. How often do we see that? And here's Kemp at the other end.
Kemp is the one guy on this team that will block shots. He's not a real intimidating shot blocker, but when he gets his rhythm, he'll force Phil Jackson to take a timeout as he's led Seattle right back into this game.
You know, we have just seen one of the great end-to-end sequences of this season. The show by Sean Kemp.
Hey, you.
It doesn't have to worry about him so much as an offensive player. You do have to worry about him on the offensive glass, but no way he can get it there as Sean Kemp made sure nothing doing for Michael Jordan. And then Sean Kemp, who's been shooting the jump shot really from the perimeter very well, and that tough little medium-range jumper, nicely.
Did you see the way Sean Kemp floated by Jordan and let Jordan sort of suckered him in, forced him to bring it behind his head, and then wiped it off with that left hand? Reminded me of Bill Russell a little bit.
Well, Kemp with 14 points. He has sparked an 8-0 run for Seattle after the Bulls took a 12-point lead. And now Kemp sitting down with 40 seconds remaining in the half. The Bulls lead by 4. Looked like they were about to pull away, leading by as many as 12. The foul.
Luke Longley, who has been shooting the ball very well of when his man leaves him, finding that crease, finding that open area, and his teammates know where big Luke is and able to finish the play.
And the difference in the post feeding by both teams. Chicago, with Tex Winter and Phil Jackson, the triple post offense, they know you got to zip that ball in.
Larley going behind the back. All right.
Redheads are very good at stuff like that.
I see. Here's Perkins. He continues to struggle, but Shrimp on the rebound.
Nobody
lead by 6, and Perkins rejected. Perkins not able to hit, but a foul is called. Well, Matt, as you say, no one defending Perkins. McMillan spotted him. But Sam has had a very long first half.
Well, so, no question he's having a tough time, but you don't leave him wide open underneath, as miscommunication between Longley and Rodman, leaving him wide open, but Sam still couldn't get the shot to go.
I think they were testing Sam. I think they said, look, if we leave you wide open, can you score?
I see.
He couldn't.
He is 0 for 5 from the field. Foul is called on Rodman. And Perkins now 0 for 1 at the line. Sam was celebrated his 35th birthday on Friday and was serenaded by the crowd after the game. Had the touch earlier this series, usually very good in clutch situations.
And that's what's so surprising. I mean, this is the kind of game that Sam Perkins comes out and plays beautiful basketball and hitting the threes and rebounding, playing defense. And today, it has just been nothing.
So the Bulls lead by 5. Final seconds of the half. Jordan. And he was tripped up. That won't count. Aaron Payton upset about that foul, his second. And Seattle in the penalty, so Jordan will shoot 2 with 4 and 9/10 seconds remaining first half.
Well, with the second quarter winding down, the Bulls going to their spread offense where they open the floor, and we'll give it to Pippen, Kukoc, or Michael Jordan. I asked Phil Jackson before the game, come fourth quarter, if you're having trouble scoring in the triangle, will you open it up? Give the ball to Michael Jordan at the top of the key. He said, we haven't used it much yet. We're ready to put it in.
The Bulls 4-4. The Sonics 38.
That's probably why Phil Jackson's coach of the year. Just, you know, call the play. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan.
Chicago by 7. McMillan. And Perkins. That's the end of the first half. And the Bulls hearing it from this crowd. Halftime at the United Center in Chicago. And the Bulls lead the Sonics 45-38. We'll be back with Bob Costas and the Prudential halftime report right after these messages.
Time of Game 6 at the United Center with the Bulls leading the Sonics 45-38. That despite a poor shooting half for Michael Jordan. He's 3 for 11. He has 14 points. Also 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Sean Kemp leads the Sonics with 14. Bob Costas back at the United Center. We're joined from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan by two-time NBA champion and currently the head of basketball operations for the Toronto Raptors, Isaiah Thomas. No, Isaiah did not play in the U.S. Open in Bloomfield Hills. Just happens to be, coincidentally, where he lives. Isaiah, your thoughts on this first half and the way the Bulls and the Sonics each approached it?
Well, I thought Seattle did a good job in terms of handling the emotional rush at the start of the game. They're only 7 down now. They had a few turnovers at the end of the second quarter that really cost them. But I think they're probably going in the locker room feeling like they're in good shape. And I think Chicago, on the other hand, is probably going into the locker room feeling that they're in good shape, too, because they're at home. I think at the end of the third quarter, you'll probably see both teams have a little tug of war. But I remember in Game 6 back in L.A., you know, Chicago's in a dangerous position because they're one injury away from actually losing this thing.
Well, that injury was your injury. You're talking about 1988. It might have been 3 in a row for you guys had not the Lakers won their second straight in 1988. Kareem made a shot over Bill Laimbeer. Actually didn't make it. He was fouled down the stretch in Game 6. He made the 2 free throws. They won a close one. Then you played Game 7 and had a great game in gutty fashion, but you were playing on a terrible sprained ankle.
danger that they're in terms of injury. They've had Harper, Pippen. You know, as I said, they're one sprained ankle away from kind of losing this thing. They had a chance to finish it in Seattle, and you know, when you got a team down, you got to kill them.
As one of the great point guards, I'd be interested in your take on Gary Payton. I heard that Brendan Malone, your former coach, in fact, you just let him go after 1 year with the Raptors and hired Darrell Walker, but obviously there's still a lot of respect. Malone was hired by the Sonics to help scout for them during the playoffs, and he went to Payton, as I understand it, and said, look, I spent years with Isaiah Thomas. He wasn't passive. When a big game came up, Isaiah was aggressive. He went after it.
Well, that's the only way you're going to win. At this point in time in the season, you got to put it all on the line, and you got to really go for it. And you know, you're not going to get anything in the NBA by being passive. And you know, what I try to tell all our guys in Toronto, you know, especially Damon, is you got to be aggressive. You got to go out there and play as hard and as well as you possibly can, because if you're going to wait for somebody to give you something, it's not going to happen.
Dennis Rodman was a teammate of yours on 2 Detroit Pistons champions. Compare and contrast. Rodman then, Rodman now.
Well, actually, Rodman was a little bit more animated then than he is now. You know, he was doing the tattoos then. He was doing shaving messages in his head. And if you remember, he would always dunk and kind of point at the crowd. I think now he's kind of toned down a little bit. He's kind of, you know, got the color in his hair, but he's still a great basketball player, and he's, you know, the best rebounder who's probably ever played the game of basketball. And he's the ultimate in terms of a teammate that you want to have on your team.
Kind of a frightening concept. This is the toned down Rodman. One quick Raptors question. You got the #2 pick in the draft. It's a foregone conclusion. The Sixers with the first pick will take Allen Iverson out of Georgetown. I know you've had Ray Allen from Connecticut in for a workout. Marcus Camby is another possibility. What do you think?
Well, if we have a shot at getting Marcus Camby, you can put a Raptor uniform on him, because you know, he's a Raptor. He's everything that we want in a basketball player. And if Philadelphia's going to take Allen Iverson, you can pencil in Marcus Camby for us, because he's a Raptor. He's what I'm looking for.
Real quick, Isaiah, any chance you would trade the pick? Darrell Walker, your coach, was quoted as saying, we're not married to the pick, we're engaged to it.
Well, that possibility exists, but that's only if Camby's not there.
All right.
But if Camby's not there, don't bother ringing my phone.
Thanks, Isaiah. That's a wrap for the top man from the Raptors, Isaiah Thomas. We thank him for being with us. We'll take a short break now, then check in on some of the drama at today's U.S. Open. First, a message from Prudential, and as always, a word from the NBA. Okay, we're back in Chicago. The Bulls leading the Sonics 45-38 at the half, joined now by Julius Erving. And Doc, it's your feeling that although they trail by 7, the Sonics are very much in the game.
I think the Sonics are in this game. The Bulls have thrown a lot at them. The Sonics haven't gotten much out of their key reserve, Sam Perkins. I think the team that spends the most amount of time in the second half playing offense against the other team's set defense is going to win this game. After playing 5 games against a team, you know, you just can't play set offense. You gotta create situations in the open court and make or miss, push the ball. Seattle did that very successfully in the first quarter. Chicago has done it in both quarters.
2 big questions answered positively for the Bulls. Ron Harper plays and plays well, and that means that Jordan doesn't have to guard Payton, at least not much anyway. And Pippen, the first time he touches the ball, explodes to the basket on the drive.
Well, I think he was under specific orders from Phil Jackson to take the ball to the hole. Good things happen when you take the ball to the hole.
All right, Doc, as always, thanks. And now to the final round of the 96th U.S. Open Golf Championship.
Say that Payton is at his very best when he's playing, as he puts it, crazy. Now look at the halftime statistics, the Miller Lite halftime stats. Seattle 16 of 39, 41%. Chicago at 43% on 17 of 40. Jordan, as Matt mentioned, not shooting well, 3 of 11. He does have 14 points, doing it at the line where he's 7 of 8. And the Bulls in the steals department with 9 in the first half, led by Pippen. Scottie Pippen with 4 steals, and we have seen a very active Scottie Pippen, who had an outstanding first half, 4 of 8 from the field, 9 points, 4 steals, 3 rebounds. We'll be right back. Back in Chicago, Marv Albert, Matt Guokas, and Bill Walton. Ahmad Rashad had a storm on on the sideline as we get ready for the start of play in the third quarter. The Bulls gunning for their fourth championship the last 6 years. The Sonics trying to stay alive for a seventh game here on Wednesday. Well, Michael Jordan 3 of 11 tonight, and the rest of the team 14 of 29. So the supporting cast has done it in the first half. While for the Sonics, Sean Kemp with 14 points on 6 of 12 and a terrific display once again in the first half. The rest of the Sonics 10 for 27 from the field. Seattle ball as we get started in the third quarter. 7-point Chicago lead. Rakowski up front with Kemp and Schrempf in the backcourt. Payton opens up by hitting the three.
Inside-out offense. Seattle needs that. Chicago hasn't had much of that. That's one of the reasons why they haven't been getting it done from behind the line. But you dump it inside, it sets everything out.
Bulls lead 45-41. And a traveling violation on Pippen.
12th turnover for Chicago. Seattle with 11 in the first half. In the half court, Seattle does have to go into Kemp, but only 2 fast break points in that first half for Seattle. I don't know if they can win a basketball game playing that way.
And guys, that's the 4th travel on the Bulls. They were not happy with 7 travels in game 5 on Friday. Here is Kemp. That spot, but could not convert.
At least Kemp is still taking good shots. They open up with Payton and Kemp handling the ball.
Open shot for Hopper, who has been a major factor. He has 7 points, and the Bulls lead by 7.
Total miscommunication on the part of the Sonics in their transition defense. That wasn't even a fast break. It was a slow break.
Oh, he was played tough by Pippen.
Pippen's playing a solid all-around game, but when he gets Schrempf, he should keep facing the basket, use his quickness, foot speed, just blast right by deadlift.
Schrempf has 13 points. Got the step on Rakowski. Short with the putback.
Defensive rebounding. Again, you think of championship teams, you think of big guys snatching balls and firing outlet passes. There's nothing. This is just layup after layup for Chicago.
All started with the double team on Jordan, and big men chasing small men out on the floor.
Here's Schrempf for 3. And Jordan with the rebound. Bulls lead by 7. 2 minutes, 10 seconds gone by. Third quarter, Jordan for Longley. Yes. The Bulls have opened up a 52-43 advantage.
Penetration and dish. That's Michael Jordan's ultimate taking over of this league after Isaiah, after Magic, and after Larry Bird.
Rakowski for 3. Longley able to save that pass slightly off, but then threw it away. Gave it right back to the Sonics.
Test that man for color blindness.
Shot clock at 10. Schrempf went flying. Shot clock at 4. Oh, what a shot by Gary Payton.
Well, after terrific defense on the part of Ron Harper, really stifling Gary Payton, forcing him to take that tough shot.
Ron Harper will have to take some time out to tie the shoelaces.
I don't know how that was not a traveling violation on Payton.
And still hits the 3. Forget about the shoelaces. There you see it. Dragging the right foot. 10-point Chicago lead. Offensive foul is called.
Percy Hawkins, as Ron Harper's got to tie the shoes up. This is